Southeast Asian countries have really increased the stakes for foreigners who want to live in the region on a permanent basis. All is not lost yet. There are still several options, and I wanted to pass on some vital information that will ultimately help you remain in the region on a permanent basis. This is an important subject because, as you know, a lot of countries have decided, you know what, we are going to increase the stakes for existing visas, and we're no longer allowing foreigners to live in our country on a tourist visa. You know, that really has been happening since the start of the pandemic. The BBB, Build Back Better, hasn't only been implemented by Western countries. Southeast Asian countries have also taken advantage of this short break. I mean, it wasn't this short, it was almost 2 years, and they have used this time wisely to their own advantage, you need to say. What can you do right now? If you want to live in Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia, you know, the Philippines, wherever, Indonesia, doesn't matter where you want to live, the requirements have changed. That is without a doubt. And I've been talking to so many people that are like, wow, I can never believe it. I just can't believe it that it happened, because I used to live in Asia on a tourist visa my whole life. And now they're telling me I can't do it anymore. You know, they don't have a lot of money, or they simply don't want to put up with all the hassle that's involved. But at the end of the day, you have to understand and you have to admit that things change in our world. You know, what worked 5 years ago may not be as effective as it was before today. You know, things change, people change, government change visa policies. If there's anything that is true, you know, it's that things have been in constant change always, always. What you can do is, if you want to live in a place like Vietnam, you know, 90% of foreigners are just locked out. You know, 90% of the people that have been living in Vietnam have been living in Vietnam on a tourist visa. You know, they got the multi-entry visa, super easy. You know, they paid maybe $55 the first time, you know, for the approval letter, then another $55 up on arrival. And then they used what we like to call a fixer to help them extend the visa for, you know, a couple of times. And they could do it by staying in the country without leaving the country and just paying, like, you know, $100 for every 3 months they would get the extension for. This was a fantastic way, and there wasn't really a need to think any further. If something works, you don't want to put up with all the hassle, you know, thinking about getting a work permit, setting up a business, working for a company, marrying a local woman. Why would you do it, right? Unless, of course, things fall into place and you really believe it's the right thing to do. What we're looking at right now is a situation where the Vietnamese government, the Cambodian government, the Thai government, pretty much all governments around Southeast Asia are in a position to tell you that, you know, you are not welcome unless you're willing to spend money. In Vietnam, the only way to do it right now, you know, if you are some kind of an online guy, you work online, you make money online, or even if you're not, you know, the only thing you can do right now is, you know, open up a company, get a work permit, and later on get residency. You know, it's a process involved. You need to, you know, work with a registered agency. You need to do your accounting. You need to have a registered office. You need to file the company. You know, you need to get everything incorporated. Then the accounting. You know, there's monthly fees, there's yearly fees, you need to have the business. That would be a way for you. If you're a guy that, you know, runs an online business, then that would be an option for you. But what happens if you're more of like an employee? Well, then you have limited options available. What you can do is you can simply try to find a company that would hire you, that would be happy having you on their side, to have you on their team, because you add a lot of value. And there is companies that are looking to hire foreigners if you have a specific skill set. That's an option. But again, this is going to require time. You need to send in applications, but if you find a company that can sponsor you, provide you with a work permit, that would be a great thing to accomplish. If the last two options I just shared with you don't work at all, then what else is there? Well, you can't really live in Vietnam on a tourist visa, there is an option which is, to get the 30-day tourist visa and then get an exit visa, which is $250 a month. You can pay $250 a month to live in Vietnam, to stay in Vietnam. You need to pay it every single month. But the problem with this is it's a visa to exit the country, meaning there's no guarantee that you will be granted admission upon your return. Whenever you decide to leave Vietnam and then you want to come back, you may be denied admission. That's a problem. The question is, do you want to risk it? That is the question. Is it worth risking it? Another option would be, you just marry a local woman. That's another option. Cambodia, very much the same thing. What happened in Cambodia? They had the ordinary visa, which you could apply for, and then simply pay it up on arrival. And that could, that's what a lot of people used to turn it into a long-term visa. They could renew this visa indefinitely. And a lot of people are shocked right now because they realize that the Cambodian government has switched gears. They're no longer willing to do it. For how long they're no longer willing to do it is unknown, because things change very quickly with Asian governments. They may decide in 2 months' time, well, we don't really see a lot of people come to our country because we removed the visa. We thought it would encourage more people to start a business, to work for a local company and secure a work permit. But if they see a lot of people are not coming back into Cambodia, meaning it restrains capital from flowing into the country, then a lot of people are going to think, on the government side, of course, a lot of people are going to think, well, did we make the right decision here? And the answer is probably going to be no, because the only way you can do it right now is, again, a work permit or starting a business. And that involves a lot of paperwork. It involves money. It involves skill. You need to deal with the government. You need a fixer again. You need some kind of visa agency to help you, because on your own, there's almost 0% chance that you're going to be able to do it. And the same we see in Malaysia, a country that has postponed reopening for tourists for so long that now everyone is sick and tired. They have a corruption scandal that's ongoing with the former Prime Minister Najib. And that may have to do with it, because the only way that this guy can stay out of prison is if he keeps running for office. I'm not sure if that's the main reason why they're delaying it, but I know that the justice system in Malaysia is dysfunctional. It's a country where you really have to think, do I want to invest money in a country where everything is so fragile? What we have seen happening to the Malaysia My Second Home program, where they first threaten people that have already this past, that have made their investment, that have done anything, and they were told that if they comply with everything, they will be able to stay in the country and renew this visa using the same conditions that they were presented at the time they applied. That was the deal. Then the government said, no, we're not doing this anymore. Now, whenever your visa expires, if you want to stay for another 10 years or 5 years, well, now it was 10 years before, now it's only 5 years. If you want to stay for another 5 years, you have to meet the new requirements, which means quadrupled income requirements, quadrupled net worth requirements. And people aren't willing to put up with this. A lot of people were upset. A lot of people were really angry because, there was this lack of consistency that, they now have to meet the new requirements, which a lot of people think is pretty unfair, and I have to agree. In Malaysia right now, you have the entrepreneur program, you have the Malaysia Tech Entrepreneur program. That is a thing you can do, or the Sarawak Malaysia My Second Home program. There's no way that you can live in Malaysia on a tourist visa, and that holds true for all Southeast Asian countries, because you don't know, if they will switch back, But again, the triple B, the Build Back Better, is the key thing to focus on. Many governments have used this time to really think about their visa strategy, think about their tourism strategy. A lot of places recovered, like Bali, Indonesia, a place that was, just really hit hard by plastic pollution. Bali, Indonesia is extremely overpopulated. It's the number one, place that digital nomads visit in Southeast Asia. That place had time. And again, the government in Bali also now has been thinking about, well, we should probably offer, the flexible visa option that we had pre-pandemic, because They're seeing now nobody's coming to Bali because they're making it so tough. They're being so anal that a lot of people are like, no way I'm going to Bali. And where do they go instead? Thailand. Because Thailand, at least you can get a tourist visa for a couple months. You know, you can get the Thai Elite visa, which is pricey. It's 18 grand for 5 years or 32 grand for 20 years. So not a bargain. And it's just a tourist visa. It doesn't give you any special privileges at all. You cannot work for a local company using the Thai Elite visa. You know, you can't engage in any kind of employment, nothing like that. And, you know, we have reporting requirements every 90 days, and you probably also need to declare some taxes, otherwise they're going to kick you out. So things have changed in Southeast Asia. There are still ways and means on how you can remain in the region, but it's going to require more money. It's going to require special visas. It's going to require just more persistence, more patience, and simply willingness to choose a different path than you're used to. What do you think about the visa situation in Southeast Asia? Do you think governments are on the right track to, you know, get as many tourists back as possible and to get as much business into the region as possible? Let us know. Leave a comment below. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm uploading new videos on digital nomad locations, travel updates, visas, crypto advice, and business advice several times a week right now. I highly recommend that you grab a free copy of my ebook, Nomad Elite, the Insider's Guide to Retaining a Life of Freedom. All you need to do is click on the link below the video. And if you got some more time left, check out these videos. Thank you for watching.